So, how did President Obama go about winning re-election on Tuesday night, and where does the Republican Party go from here? Welcome to Opinion Journal Live. I'm Jason Riley, and my first guest is editorial writer Robert George of the New York Post. Welcome, Robert.
Good to be here.
So you called it. I read your blog post before Tuesday night, and you called it for Obama.
Yeah, I was. I think my Obama best case was 303 electoral votes, and he's going to probably, when Florida is eventually called sometime next year, I think he'll actually be he'll have 332 or something like that.
I think if you were someone who took the polls at face value,
right,
it wasn't really much of a surprise. Maybe the margin, maybe the storm gave Obama a bigger push, but the result, the outcome was not really that surprising. I want to talk about how Obama won. This was not the hope and change Obama. This was not the there are no blue states and no red states Obama. I think he won ugly. He won by telling people there's a war on women. He won by telling people the Republicans want to steal the right to vote away from blacks. He won by saying elderly people are going to get pushed off of a cliff by Republicans via benefits. That's how Obama won this time.
Well, first of all, I think re-elections are often more re-election are a lot more about hard political tactics more than big visions. I mean, sometimes obviously if you're like a Reagan and the economy is gunning, you can definitely do a Morning in America.
Right,
but most of them. But I think the Obama campaign took a lesson from the Bush 2004 campaign, which was another kind of base election, and they worked on getting their base out. The flip side of that, however, is I think while there was an element of winning ugly, I think the Republican Party gave Obama a number of swords. There's been a lot of talk. I mean, both of our papers today had editorials about the immigration issue and how it's hurting Republicans. That's number one. Frankly, I think a lot of these voter ID laws. Now, look, I have no problem with voter ID laws. I think there are elements of fraud here and there, but I think pushing the idea that the voter fraud is systemic, and a number of Republican legislators across the country pushed that out there. I think it accidentally actually helped gin up the president's base. I mean, it was.
You think that helped gin up the president's base more than Eric Holder, the Attorney General, going around saying that Republicans want to take away the franchise from blacks?
I don't buy it, but there is a philosophical argument over whether voter ID. Well, first of all, the issue of voting and whether it's constitutionally protected is a debate. But I think there's a legitimate debate over whether whether voter ID at the polls is absolutely essential in all cases.
Robert,
but
I think this is the biggest. If you and I walk out of the studio and go over to a drugstore and try and buy cough syrup, we're going to get ID'd. And it's not because there's a conspiracy to keep blacks away from cold medicine.
But there's no
That's not the reason.
But look, voting in this country, there is a history connected with constitutional rights, which makes it different than just getting cold medicine. But let's put that aside. Why was it the case, though, that a number of Republican legislatures, one of their initial initial plans was voter ID. I think
it's about ballot integrity.
But I don't think. I think it was a solution in search of a problem. I don't believe Barack Obama in 2008 won the presidency because hordes of illegal voters were voting, and that is the implication that a number of Republican legislators put out there.
I agree. I agree with you that blacks were not the difference. It probably was the Hispanic vote.
Was the Hispanic
and the gender
vote?
gap
Hispanic vote,
I think helped.
But it's that whole.
And that was probably the difference.
It's that whole coalition that Obama put together, and I feel that there were a number of cases where the Republicans helped him make the case. He didn't have to go too far to make an argument that the Republicans were coming after Barack Obama's base.